Alright, hey guys. So today we're going to be drawing a city, or at least a scenic view of a city. It was recommended to me in the comments, and if you have something that you want me to draw, recommend it to me in the comments below this video, or any other drawing video for that matter, I guess. But yeah, we're going to just hop right into it, and I'm going to try to make it as easy as possible, but also make it seem like, you're really good at this. So just stay with me on this one, okay? Oh, you need a pencil and paper. Alright, now you're ready. Alright, so this right here, we're going to imagine it as a standard point. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna draw it as if we're looking at a city from our angle. Okay, don't worry, it's not complicated. Just follow through and trust me, you'll see what it means. Okay, just imagine this as the ground below you. Okay, that's it. Only important thing about this, it doesn't have to look exactly like what I did. Just make sure it has type of a U, like an upside down U shape, because it shows that it's pointing forward, that it's in front of you. That's the only thing. It can be any kind of shape here, just as long as you have that U shape. Okay, all right, just stay with me. All right, so you see these two rectangles that we literally just drew? They're gonna be our building, our first two buildings on the sides of us. All right, the image that we're going for is that we're on a setting here, and we can look down the street, see buildings on the side. That's literally the entire image that we're going for. Just wanted to be able to see buildings on the side. Actually, I think it's better not to. But now that we did that part, we have to give ourselves a type of angle that we're going for. So the best, for a beginner, the best thing to do is, let me just show you, kind of have this image of the angle that you want to go for. So this is where our highest point is at. We're going to start here and just have that angle image in our head. And we'll do the same thing over here. If you want, you can use a ruler. I didn't say use a ruler for this because you don't need it, because it's just a drawing, so you can kind of keep up with if you need to. I might need a ruler. Oh gosh. All right, it's just the angle that I'm looking at it from, though. I'm at a bit of a side angle. Just kind of have that idea in mind. Like, that's the direction you're gonna have your buildings going. Okay. Back to the drawing. We're gonna draw another building, and I'm gonna show you exactly why these lines are important. Alright, so you see how we have it now. So since the buildings that are closest to us have nothing, have nothing in front of it. So this is the building closest to us. There's nothing in front of this one, but this one is going to be behind it, because you can see how you have to look past this building to see this building. That's just angling, and it goes down. It's behind this building, and as you might have noticed, the amount of width between each line as it goes down is slightly getting skinnier. Like this one has like way more width, but your building could just be like wider, a wider building. So this one here is slightly skinnier than this one here. So as we continue to go down, you can add your building shapes. You can change your building shapes if you want, but this is just like a little outline. I'm using different shapes every now and then just just to get it, just so you can get a feel for, it doesn't have to all be the same. And now I will continue. Oh, and one more thing. So you see how these two lines don't reach all the way back down to our viewpoint. Well, that's let me erase a slight bit of these as well. That's because we're gonna imagine the street. So say the buildings have to come down somewhere. So let's say they meet at the sidewalk, which would most likely be the case. So our buildings are going to meet right here at the sidewalk in our imagination. And if you want, you can go ahead and draw a real faint line of your sidewalk. And matter of fact, go ahead and draw a faint line of your sidewalk, because it's actually it's actually helpful for when you continue drawing your buildings. And a cool thing about art is that shapes are very appealing. So your sidewalk continues, and you want to keep it going till they meet. And as you're drawing them, make sure you kind of have them evened out. As it doesn't have to reach the middle of the page, because everything doesn't meet directly in one spot. Like, say this pencil, this is not exactly in a straight line. This isn't even exactly in a straight line. So it doesn't have to meet exactly in one spot. Just have some kind of idea of balance, okay? And we're only keeping that there until we decide to draw a sidewalk. But until then, we're going to finish these buildings really quickly and get back to it. Alright? Alright, so boom. Now it looks like we have a pathway of buildings right in front of us, which is exactly what we were going for, right? Now, erase this pointed end right here, because that's where the last building is going to stop at. And now, erase the pointed end. And now, from whatever building you added as the farthest one, now you can make your line. Okay. So now you can make your line coming back down. You're gonna be out from your farthest building just enough to give it space, and then kind of rectangularly come back. And now, an important part of this here is to make it wide. So what I mean by that, make it as if your rectangle is here and one is here, and it reaches out like this. It's here and it widens instead of being here and here, which is just straight. See, it widens here, but it's just straight here. You don't want it to be straight. You want it to widen out. Alright, so since you were able to finish your pathway of buildings, now you have an option to add a building here if you want to. But in a city setting, you will most likely see another building, and there'll be a turn. It'll be pretty much a three-way. So what we're gonna I'm sorry. So yeah, pretend this is the road. You can either turn left, turn right. Who knows? Who cares? But the building in front of it needs a sidewalk as well. So we gave this enough space for it to look as if it's still a street there. And it has to, and this street here has to be, has a slightly smaller, I guess, width or length on this side than as if it was here. So say if you just took the exact measurement of this and put it here. As long as it's smaller than from here to here, as long as this to this is smaller than here to here, then it's fine. It should look okay. It shouldn't be any problems with it. Okay, and yeah, it shouldn't be any problems with it. Now you can finally decide, okay, across the street you got a little sidewalk. Now we can add a building, and so it's a little tricky, but just kind of think of it as a big old rectangle that's really this large. But since these buildings are in the way of your view, we're only going to stop it right here, and then that's it. So we just imagine the rectangle. So now when you look at it, your brain is going to think it's a rectangle there, or a building, whatever. But in reality, all you did was make 3 lines. See? And right here, there's another line, and this is just another building. But since we did this one here, we can branch off to make viewing buildings behind this building a little bit more easier. And that's what I did with this one right here. Okay, that's really all I did for that. It wasn't yeah, it's really not hard. Just don't overcomplicate it. Trust me, it's really not hard. So we're at the point where we pretty much finished the outline. So now we add, this is where you can be completely creative and add your own design to the buildings. Who knows, the buildings could be crumbly, the buildings could have large windows, small windows, many windows that you want. But I'm gonna start designing some buildings, and I'm gonna show you exactly what I mean by this. Alright, looking pretty good actually. I guess I really don't have anything much to say, except you can obviously do shading and much more to this picture, but that would take some time. But I think if you have gotten this far, I congratulate you, because good job. And on some of them, yes, I rushed a few of them, but that's just to make sure I get the main premise of the video out of the way, which is pretty much making the city. Now, I will note one thing about adding these square type buildings. It's difficult to draw them at said angle that we created, but I think the best tip to tell you is pretty much draw a square and then add a slight tilt at the top and a slight tilt at the bottom to make it look like somewhat of a trapezoid, like this. Make it look somewhat of a trapezoid, but not exactly. It's just like just barely there, depending on how radical your angles are. So if you made this angle like way sharper, then of course you will make it look a lot more like a trapezoid. Based on the angle that we're looking at it from, that's what it will look like. And there's plenty of things you can still add to this picture. You can always add birds. You can add the sun, however you want to put that. There's multiple ways you can do it. In the top corner, which is the most notable way. You could add it like right here, which is give you a sunlight view of the city. And if you're in a city, it's undoubtedly that you're going to need some kind of clouds, whether small clouds or actual clouds. You're going to need some kind of clouds in this picture. So here's what I do for my clouds, and I'll show you. Bottom line, we're pretty much finished with this entire drawing. I'm not going to do shading at the end because it would take a long time, and drawing the actual drawing itself took me a good little minute. So yeah, I'm not going to do any shading, but here what I have to say for the clouds. For the clouds, what I personally do, I enjoy to always go back to this same kind of woo shape, like a yum or you. Or like an N. There we go. It looked like an N. I'd rather go to that kind of shape, just make it wide and change it. Not even depend on anything, because clouds can be completely abstract. So just do them any kind of way. This is how I do clouds. You don't have to do it like this. I just noticed that whenever I do this, it looks puffy no matter how I do it. Once I come back around and complete the cloud itself, it looks like a puffy cloud. So if I'm making puffy clouds, that's the kind of approach I would take to it. I also did these big clouds in the background just for you, just to give you something else other than if you don't want it to be puffy. You can also, now I still say use curve, and so what I did here, I used a curve, but I also decided to make a line a bit wavy, because if you push down a curve, it spreads out. So say if this was poly puffy, but now it's spread out a bit, so now it's a bit wavy. And then I stopped just abstract patterns, curves, and wave until I came up with this cloud. And if you continue to do stuff like that, then drawing clouds will come easier. You also take inspiration from actually looking at clouds, but it's part of how I draw clouds now. So I don't really plan on changing that. But yeah, if you like the video, let me know in the comments, and I'm going to draw a ground for this. If you want to see that, just let me know in the comments if you want to see me actually draw this part. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and draw it right now, because it can really be whatever you want. It doesn't even have to be real. A drawing is a drawing. It doesn't have to be real, but if you want me to, I'll do it. But yeah, see you at the final product, I guess. Alright, that was another video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you feel like you did well on it. It took a little while, but I think if you got this far, I'm pretty sure you did somewhat decent. But yeah, like, subscribe, and comment what you want to see next. The video is ending in 3, 2, 1.